Welcome back to Tony Talks Vested Up, and this is a video that I forecasted that I would be dropping this week, the last week of November, because I was seeing some things that I definitely wanted to highlight and point out as being a very serious issue of professional abuse in sport. Now, I know this may not be the normal video that you would tune into regarding sports, but you must listen and understand what's going on in the Cleveland Browns organization. And it seemed like Kevin Stefanski is the one that is inflicting this type of mental abuse against Shedeur Sanders. And I have the information to back it up. Just give me 1 second. Just give me a few minutes of your time just to lay this out so you can see exactly what it is. And so when you see it happen, you'll be able to recognize it, because you may have a young son, nephew, daughter, niece in some type of extracurricular activities. Baseball, football, soccer, baseball, track. And as you know, this can happen on any levels. So if you have anyone in your family that may be participating in sports or have participated in sports, make sure you watch this video and you make sure you take notes so you'll be able to recognize what's going on. Because now, with it being 48 hours past the celebration of Shedeur Sanders' first historic game, we definitely need to talk about what's been going on and those things that have been displayed on the global stage in terms of professional abuse of talent, resources, and human assets. We're finna dig into this. And before I get into the video, I must echo that this video is for education purposes only. And for a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1974, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research, as fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that may otherwise be infringing. Of course, on this channel here, we try to stay away from copyrights, but it's certain evidence I must show you in order to support my claim. What am I talking about? As you see here on the stage, about 2 weeks ago, ironically on November the 12th, I posted a video called Shedeur Annihilation, Protect Your Drink. If you haven't seen that, go watch that video. As of now, even though the screen shows about 1,900 views, I have over 2,000 views on that video. And I called out a lot of things that made this situation kind of scary. So take away the football aspect of it. We're looking at Shedeur Sanders, and we're going to analyze this situation as him being human. Because as of now, even after his victory, he has been devalued, dehumanized, terrorized mentally, and abused mentally. And I'm going to show you right now today of the proof of that happening. All right. And whoever filed that lawsuit in Georgia after Shedeur was drafted in the 5th round in April 2025, whoever that Jane Doe is or John Doe is, that lawsuit in Georgia is about to hold weight. It's already holding weight, but it's definitely holding weight because Kevin Stefanski and Jimmy Haslam, I don't know if they know, but they're definitely providing all the evidence that claimant has in that lawsuit, because how they've been treating Shedeur on a world stage. You hear what I'm saying? World stage. What they did in the locker room, what Kevin Stefanski did in the locker room, made everybody who even personnel that has not even been watching this quarterback saga in Cleveland Browns shake their head and scratch their head and wonder what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm definitely about to highlight that today. And before I get into the video, I just published this video last week before the Raiders game. And that video has got roughly over 2,500 views. So if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch this video of the betrayal that Tom Brady has already executed on Shedeur Sanders before the draft. And I'm definitely going to highlight Kevin Stefanski because I'm tired of him playing in our face. I'm tired of him treating Shedeur Sanders like Shedeur Sanders unrobbed him of everything that he ever had in life. I'm tired of this, Kevin Stefanski. I told you earlier, and I made it clear a couple weeks ago, since the Cleveland Browns was not playing Shedeur, we had every opportunity to sit back that, hey, we was just going to sit back in the corner and watch this unfold. But it also gave us an opportunity to dissect what was going on and what was going on the sidelines and what was going on in the locker room and what was going on in the organization. So I was like, hey, I'm going to sit back and watch, but I'm going to start looking and scanning for other information about what is going on behind the scenes. They have provided us a lot this week. So like I said, if you didn't have an opportunity, go watch this video, Shedeur Annihilation. And if you also want to look at something else, hey, I also called out 2 weeks ago that the Cleveland Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, was already on the FBI radar 2011 and 2014. The reason I brought that up because I think it was against the Jets game or the game before that. Fans had already was tweeting that the FBI need to investigate the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam on they dealing with all of this. That's when Dylan Gabriel was on the field with that atrocious plays, couldn't hit nobody, was throwing the balls at ghosts, and they still wouldn't put Shedeur in. That is also was part of the mental abuse process, and I'm going to show you all of that. And I talked about it also in late October or early November. If you see on the screen, that video at the bottom called Proof, 8 days ago, Dylan Gabriel was a Trojan horse for Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski put Dylan Gabriel in front of Shedeur for many reasons, but one of those reasons was to destroy Shedeur's mental. He knew that he couldn't destroy Shedeur physically. He knew that he could attack him and weigh him down mentally. And I know anybody that's watching this video, you've been in situations like that, or you've heard of situations like that where they probably couldn't take a person down physically, but they sure got them mentally. So hold on, let me put all this together before I show my evidence. And here's proof that he had to attack him mentally and not physically, because look what Shedeur said. Shedeur said after the game, he said, I visualized everything during the week. The game was already played. So that's why I have confidence. That's why I'm able to talk the way I talk, walk the way I walk, do what I'm able to do. The game was already mentally played. This is how, and this is why Kevin Stefanski has to attack him mentally. Even after that superior game that they played in Las Vegas, he still attacked him mentally in the locker room. While you're watching this video, I want you to watch it twofold. First, as is, Shedeur going through the challenges that he are in Cleveland Browns. That's by default. But secondly, I want you to remove his last name. See him as your son, your nephew, your brother, your cousin, and a potential father. Because one day he will be a father, and his children will have to probably look back and say, Father, what were you going through at this time? What was the experience that you was going through? Was it trauma? And being who Shedeur is, he may say yes or he may say no. And that's going to be up to Shedeur how he looks at this situation. But what I do know from the evidence that I've dug up and I've researched, this is mental abuse. But as of now, Shedeur Sanders is definitely an uncle. His little nephew Snow is age 1 and will eventually ask him, how did you feel during this time, Uncle? I probably didn't know what was going on, but I understood that I was alive and something was going on. Sit down and talk to me, Uncle Shedeur, and tell me what was going on. And that trauma will be talked about. If Shedeur never shares that trauma, what he was thinking about with family, he definitely is going to talk to someone about that. And that could be your daughter, his future wife, or that definitely would be a therapist. But this right here is hard on anybody. And as of right now, Shedeur Sanders is 23, and I'm trying to do my best to put out in the airwaves that I disagree with this. My silence, I refuse to be silent any longer. That's why I made this channel. And I want you, the listener, to pay attention so you can recognize it, even in your life or outside of your home, about what's going on. This is mental abuse that they are afflicting now these days, even in professional sports. That quote unquote, supposed to just be a sport. Now it's more than football. And they trying to take the minds of the great, the physical great, and any and everybody that's standing by. Because you can even tell in that locker room when Kevin Stefanski disrespected Shedeur, the atmosphere in the locker room changed. Now, all of those players have to go home and think about, what if it was me? What if it was my son? Should I say something? Should I not say something? What do? I have a contract here with this team. What if I say something? Will it mess up my career? Will it blackball me in the league? This is called workplace hostile environment. So hold on. Before I show the evil that's going into the locker room, let me go ahead and show you that a brother, show you Andrew Berry, who we all was side eyeing in the beginning of this saga. We couldn't believe that Andrew Berry was sitting by letting this go on. But now we know that Andrew Berry has been that olive leaf that Shedeur probably has been leaning on for support and validations. If you want to know why I say that, here's the proof. At least Andrew Berry has been consistent. Here's the video for that preseason game when they played against the Carolina Panthers on August the 8th. And everybody know that was a sold out preseason game ever in NFL history. And on that sideline, Andrew Berry was giving Shedeur validation about a job well done. And as you can see, Shedeursanders was very appreciative of that. But also look at Kevin Stefanski body language. It's like he was getting sick. And I'm going to rewind that. But you can see that brotherly love on the sideline, something that Shedeur needed. Kevin Stefanski didn't even acknowledge Shedeur in that game. Let me go ahead and rewind this again. Now in this second clip, I want you to pay attention to Kevin Stefanski. He's not even turning around, giving Shedeur not even no attaboys. Give him a thumbs up. His back is totally turned. Look at that. He's not even turning around trying to recognize what's going on behind him with Andrew Berry and Shedeursanders. Look at look. He's in disgust. He had to walk away. We caught that, Kevin Stefanski. We caught that months ago. But thank you for giving us more evidence into this story. All right. And this recent video. And I'm so glad that Andrew Berry found Shedeur. He came all the way down to that locker room to give him attaboys and gave him that sincere brotherly hug and everything. Because Shedeur needed it at that time. Just know that it was conversations going on right there in that embrace. Trust me. Just watch it again. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. He definitely was saying something because Shedeursanders is not even moving his mouth, but Shedeursanders was locked in. Let me play that again. Let me play this again. Shedeursanders was definitely locked into what Andrew Berry was whispering during that moment. As you can see, Shedeursanders never said a word. That mean Andrew Berry was saying everything that Shedeur needed to hear. So thank you, Andrew Berry. Thank you, Andrew Berry. Whatever you told him, he greatly appreciated it, and he needed it. He needed it in that moment. So as of now, Andrew Berry, I'm gonna remove you off that red carpet that I had for you until I see otherwise. But this is what I definitely want to talk about here. And we all don't see the clip, but if you haven't, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip for you. And if you have seen the clip, let me remind you of what happened just 48 hours ago.
Stay resilient together, and we fought together. How about Gage's big punt return on special teams? How about Corey, every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job? Great call. Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end? IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done.
Now, it's a few things I want to point out in this clip. Now, this is after Kevin Stefanski said Shedeur's name as he was just somebody that's just going to clean up the bathroom and the locker room after they was finished. Now, look at Njoku's eyes. You know he's talking to someone across the field like, did that just happen? Look at Jerry Jeudy. He's standing there like, what? Like, what just happened? Did he just do that? Of course, they had to play it alone because the media was there. There was a camera there. But you know they're talking across the room eye to eye. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. That telepathic talk that we can look across the room and we can say a lot in just a wink and an eye. Come on, Nujoku. I see you. Thank you for that. But I want to show you this here. I want to highlight this again. I want you to focus on Shedeur Sanders' demeanor, how it changed. All right, since we have watched this clip one time, let's go back and watch this clip and watch everybody's body language. So when Kevin Stefanski is first calling out players, you see Shedeur, it's like he's back there. He's preparing for his name to get called. He's looking down at the ground. It's like he's trying to set his mind right to accept the accolades. But watch this. Every time that Kevin Stefanski had called out his team player's name, he's clapping, he's happy. It's like he's getting ready for his moment to get his accolades, to get his validation in front of the team and Kevin Stefanski. But watch after Kevin Stefanski disrespect Shedeur Sanders in the locker room like this, you will see a whole entire shift in Shedeur Sanders' body language. Let me show you this here. Watch his body language.
Okay.
Shedeur Sanders' body language.
Yeah.
Right here. Do you not see that? Look at Shedeur. Look at Nujoku. Something has been triggered mentally. The disappointment that was just forced just went through this young man's body. And look at his teammates. Nujoku is basically in shock that just happened. Look at his face. I want to show you something else regarding Shedeur Sanders' body language. Even though he's not going to show it, I want you to look at this. He can't even still believe that happened. Something else I want to show you at the end of Shedeur's body language. His head is down, but he has a look in his eyes of total hurt. Now, once again, just watch Shedeur's body language. And this is what I want to point out. Look at this length and this disappointment in his eyes. Did you see how Shedeur put his head down? He was so embarrassed. Look how Shedeur is looking. Look how Shedeur is looking. He is so disappointed in her. Look at that. Nujoku looked like he wanted to run him over. Look at Shedeur. If you think what you just witnessed was not social annihilation, even though Shedeur Sanders played that game, Kevin Stefanski had to push it up a notch. He had to embarrass him. Despite the epic historic win, he still had to embarrass him and still annihilate him and isolate him mentally from the rest of the team. I even had some of the NFL greats, retired legendary personnel, had echo how disappointing that was just to see Kevin Stefanski look that way. And I'm definitely not calling him a great, but I have to point out that even who has been a semi-anti-Shedeur supporter and a huge Kevin Stefanski advocate even pointed out in one of his most recent shows about how disappointed and egregious that was for Kevin Stefanski to treat Shedeur Sanders like that in the locker room. Now, both of these two clips from Speakeasy recently that dropped were very good, and they were so long, and all that information was in there was very good and valid for the situation. So if you haven't had an opportunity, make sure you go to their channel and you watch these two videos, because even Emmanuel Acho is singing a different tune, and he's basically tired and fed up with Kevin Stefanski on the way that he treats Shedeur. And now his eyes are starting to wake up and say, no, something is wrong. Something is wrong with this picture. It takes time. As my grandmother always said, time will tell all. Now let me go ahead and let you hear what Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco said, and then I'm definitely going to let you go.
Haslam, I don't know if it was Stefanski, but he showed sung a different tune today compared to what last night and what he's been singing all the way up until this. This is a different harmony here. I ain't never heard him sing like this before.
I mean,
this must be auto-tuned.
Hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do. And I think, honestly, I think that locker room, I think they would have riot. I think the fans would riot because enough is enough. I think that the fans are fed up. I think the people inside the organization are fed up. I think the players inside the locker room, this is what they want.
Once again, this video is for educational purposes only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Fair use for the purpose of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and educational research. And for this video, also for mental awareness and mental health. They're not the only one retired NFL greats that's saying that this is something totally wrong going on. Let me let you hear what Debo and Joe said last week before Shedeur Sanders even started the game.
It's two levels of people. It's two different kind of people that want to see Shedeur do something. It's the Shedeur haters who hate him because of his father, who hates him because they feel like he got an opportunity they didn't, that hates him because he is who he is. Yeah. And there's other people who are like, yo, I want to see him do well. Okay? I want to see him do well. And you're going to judge him as if he's stepping in there as Tom Brady coming through and just supposed to come in here and lace and light everything up. And you done gave this boy that's in front of him more than enough time, and he is still not able to do it.
And as Debo and Joe already said, Kevin Stefanski, Shedeur already got the locker room. Shedeur already has the locker room. Did you see how the locker room, the atmosphere changed? But I'm going to go ahead and let Debo and Joe say exactly what we know and what has been proven just in this clip that I showed you earlier. Go ahead, Debo and Joe.
Oh, it's a team. The locker room already got his back. Stefanski. Huh?
That was the most. Come on, bro.
It's a team. The locker room already got his back. Stefanski. Huh?
That was the.
Thank you, Joe, for that right there. And that was an NFL legendary player right there, defensive player. So let me go ahead and put this right here so it can cement in your mind. And while I give you this information, just continue to watch this clip and let it run. And watch Shedeur from start to finish. And just watch his demeanor in the background. As I tell you what I'm alluding to, as I tell you, as I provide you the proof on what I said. If you got this far in this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. And as you see, this is a channel that loves sports, but I'm also going to be bringing information outside of the box because that's where the truth lies. Let me tell you one thing that A and I had a conversation about a couple weeks ago. And AI is not even human. Therefore, it is not biased or prejudiced. It just tells you or provides you the information that has been digested in his database system. All right. And I'm going to let you go. I'm going to take up these last 2 minutes of your time because I definitely want you to hear what I asked AI a few weeks ago and what it responded with. So one question that I asked AI a couple of weeks ago, I said, what is the terminology? What is the terminology for psychological isolation? Where it's so bad where a coach won't even mention a player's name. AI returned and said, that was a very stark and powerful observation. It says when a coach uses that level of communication exclusion, referring to even speak a player's name, it goes beyond benching and discipline. It is an active tactic designed to create profound psychological isolation and professional erasure. Like I said, once I got that information there, that's when I created that video called Shedeur's Annihilation on November 12th of this year. And then, of course, AI had gave me some other information to think about. Then AI went a little further and went on to give me information regarding a social death, which says this term captures the severity and threat of a coach's action, called symbolic annihilation. This refers to the process by which an individual is treated as if they are socially and professionally deceased. Yes, that's what AI said. This term refers to the process by which an individual is treated as if they are socially or professionally deceased. It is a form of erasure designed to undermine the player's identity and professional standing, which is often a key step in breaking or forcing submission. So even though we as the fans got our way and Shedeur was able to play, Kevin Stefanski is still implementing this mental torture, or he's attempting to implement this form of torture. Shedeur Sanders, because of his spiritual covering and all the fan support and all the accolades and his father's spiritual background and understanding in prayer, and the family that is a praying family, I know that they have Shedeur. But we also have to consider those moments when Shedeur is alone in his bedroom, in his car driving, when he's sitting there by himself, contemplating everything. The abuse goes deep. And AI also told me that this is a form of punishment of withholding communication. I just want to discuss one more thing that Shedeur Sanders was going through before he was able to play. It was called professional oblivion, being forgotten, that the player was being erased from relevance. That's why he being Kevin Stefanski, always bringing up Dylan Gabriel's name with excitement in news pressers. But when it came to Shedeur Sanders, he wouldn't even refer to him by name. He was referring to all rookies. And AI also said, when Kevin Stefanski was not mentioning Shedeur's name, and I would say even there, in that moment right there in the locker room, that this tactic of refusing to speak his name, and even though Kevin Stefanski spoke his name in that clip, just by the way that he spoke it, was a brutal form of psychological warfare, trauma, abuse. And then AI also said it is a calculated move towards inflicting social death on the player's career within that team. And I go a step further. Seeing that clip right there, that was a calculated move towards inflicting social humiliation in one of his greatest times in his life on Shedeur Sanders' mental well-being. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap up this video. But like I said, everything that Shedeur has been inflicted with since the draft, since the slide of the draft up until now, even after playing his first NFL game, with all those highlights and historical achievements for the team, the franchise, and for his own professional resume, there's still a calculated move. There's still a calculated move by Kevin Stefanski. to create this isolation, embarrassment, harassment, and mental abuse. And I know you stayed to the end because this was very good. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and put on that notification bell, because I will be dropping videos like this all week. Because this is the time is now to call this foolishness to the side. You heard what Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco. If you go back and watch them clips of Speak Easy, what Shady McCoy, even Emmanuel Acho has stated. And then you also had Joe and Debo, how they felt about the situation. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can get more videos just like this and you don't miss out, because they will be dropped. So until next time, make sure you get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we vested up today. 365 degrees. Make sure you protect your vest at all times, because as you see, it's even happening in the professional world on a global stage. Until next time, Vesters. Until next time. This needs to be stopped. And it needs to be stopped now by someone within the organization. That young man, he went from this to this in a matter of minutes. He couldn't even make eye contact with Kevin Stefanski. Wow, Shedeur. Sorry, young man. Sorry, young man.